Pistols chambered in .380 caliber seem to be more popular these days, at least increasing in popularity. There's a whole lot of them on the market. I came across the Walther CCP M2 in .380. It was interesting, so I picked it up and we're going to take a first look at it. Stay with me. Thanks for joining me today while I take a look at the Walther CCP M2 .380 caliber pistol. Now they also make this, I believe, in 9mm. We're going to look at the .380 to start with because it's going to be part of the .380 series coming up. Comes with all the usual paraphernalia and a cleaning kit. Okay, sure, no problem. Let's just see what we have here. Get all this out of the way. 2 magazines. Tool for, and also another front sight. I'm guessing that's to change the height. It is a red dot. Let's get this out of the way and actually take a look at the gun. 8-round single stack magazine. Gun is nicely protected in plastic. And it has a push button release. I like the paddle release, but I haven't seen this one available with the paddle release. So let's take a look at some of the features of the gun itself. This is described by Walther as being easy to rack, and actually they claim it to be the easiest shooting experience with its next to nothing recoil. I haven't shot it yet, and we're not going to shoot it in this unboxing video, but I will be shooting it in the very, very near future, and we will try it out and see how it works out. All right, this has a fixed 3.5 inch or 3.54 inch barrel. It does not move. It's not linked or anything. It's strictly a fixed barrel. Does not appear to be a real polished ramp in there, but certainly better than some. We'll see how that works. The slide release or slide stop lever, whichever you prefer to call it, is not ambidextrous, although it is protected here by an extrusion in the plastic. It does have a manual safety on it. Some people don't like manual safeties. I happen to like them. A lot of people kind of carry a gun with the manual safety off. If you do that, understand that it can be bumped on, and this one actually can be bumped on easier than many others. So you still have to train that when you pull the gun up on target, you sweep the safety off. Even if you carry it with the safety off, you still have to get that sweeping motion. Good texture. It does not have replaceable back straps. Just as what you see is what you get. It does have some swells in the palm area here. Looks like good gripping texture. We'll find out how that works when we get it out to the range. Let's see. Barrel is not crowned, but then again, for a pistol with an MSRP of $469 and an actual price anywhere, I've seen them just under $400 to well over $500. Oh, by the way, this comes in something like 7 different color combinations too. I just happen to prefer black. But for a gun of that price range, I don't expect an awful lot of fancy stuff on it. It does have what appears to be a plastic front sight with a dot, and again, that is apparently replaceable. We'll find out if we need to. That's replaceable only to change your elevation, apparently. It does have a plastic rear sight that is adjustable for windage, so you do have some sight adjustment on it. It's got a cocked indicator on it, and we'll talk more about the cocking here in just a moment. It does have the I don't know why they still put those on there, but I guess some people want to shoot with their finger on the front of the trigger guard. Not too many people can successfully do that, but hey, it's a feature anyway. It does even have a rail on it. If you're going to carry a light on the front of your little pocket .380, actually not quite pocket size, this is bigger than some. We'll actually do a quick comparison with a couple others here in just a moment. The 2 magazines it comes with are relatively plush. They do have just a little bit of a finger extension. I can actually get, with medium-sized hands, I can comfortably get a full firing grip on this gun. It'd be interesting to see how it actually shoots, but again, with just an 8-round single stack magazine, it does allow for a full grip. Owner's manual does say, yeah, it's a windage adjustable rear sight, and it does say that the front sight is interchangeable for elevation. I guess the most comparable thing that I have in my inventory would be the Shield EZ, which is also a single stack 8-round magazine, and for comparison's sake, the EZ is just a fraction longer than the CCP and also just a hair taller. Now that does have a magazine in it, so let's put a magazine in this and get an actual look at the difference in height. And they're fairly comparable. The heel of the shield is just a hair longer, so it might print just a little more if it's being carried. And of course the shield does also have a manual safety on it, and pretty much the same type of features. The one thing that the shield has that some people object to, though, is the grip safety. And that was one of the things my wife didn't like about it, is if she didn't grip this gun just right, she couldn't make it work. So as much as she liked shooting the shield, she didn't like the fact that if she didn't have that perfect grip on it, grip safety is not working. Relatively comparable to the shield. Magazines are similar. The shield magazine does have the button you can pull down on it. However, the reports I've seen show that the one for the CCP is fairly easy to work. These are metal magazines made in Germany. This is actually, it looks like it's the 9mm magazine, just with a spacer put in the back to take care of the shorter rounds. 9mm, of course, is 9x19, and the 380 is really 380 is a 9mm short, so it's 9x17. The Walther literature claims this is 19.4 ounces empty. I don't know if that's empty, no magazine, or with an empty magazine, or how they figure it out. I don't like weighing empty because you're never going to carry an empty gun. I'm more concerned with what it's going to be like when it's actually in my hand and I'm carrying it. So let's see what this gun does come out to be. All right, showing 19.4, and that is with a magazine in it and no ammunition. Let's put in 9 rounds of 95 grain. This is a Winchester PDX-1 Defender ammunition, 95 grains. Let's just see what this comes out to be with the 9 rounds in it. And we'll even compare that with a shield here in just a minute and see what that shakes out to be. So with 9 rounds of 95 grain ammunition, we're running 22.5 ounces. The shield with a magazine and the same 9 rounds comes out to 21.6. The shield is just a hair lighter than the Walther, but not enough to make a huge difference, at least not to me. Now they also claim that this has a trigger pull of 5.5 pounds. Now one thing I didn't mention is this does have a magazine disconnect, so with the magazine out, you cannot fire the round. Even if you had a round in the chamber with no magazine in, this gun's still not going to go off because of the magazine disconnect. Not a feature I personally care for, but is what it is. All right, so dig out the trusty calibrated Wheeler trigger pull gauge, put a magazine in, and again, there is nothing in the chamber on this. Safety is off, and let's just see what the trigger press is on this particular sample. Remember, this is a sample of 1. All right, 4 pounds, 1.8 ounces. And when I reset this, you do have to run this all the way back, not like in many of others where a reset is relatively short. This one, the reset is the slide reset to reset the striker is all the way back. As you can, I'll show you after the next trigger pull here. All right, that one came out to 3 pounds, 11.6 ounces. And you see the striker indicator is forward, and to reset that striker indicator, there I pulled it almost all the way back, and there's no reset on it. Still almost all the way there, finally all the way back to reset the striker. So it's a long slide reset for the to reset the striker to get it to fire the next shot. All right, third trigger pull, 3 pounds, 11 ounces. And did not bump the safety out. Didn't reset it all the way, that's why. There we go. 2 pounds, 11.2 ounces on that pull. And it is reset all the way, so we'll do our 5th pull, and 2 pounds and 9 ounces. So an average of 3 pounds, 5.7 ounces for the average over 5 pulls. Not bad. It's a nice feeling trigger. There's a lot of, well, again, I got to reset it all the way. There's not much take up. It was a lot before because I didn't have it reset. Very little take up. It is a plastic trigger. There's no tab on it. A couple serrations on the front, and a little bit of creep, just a little bit there, a little glitch there, and it finally fires as it gets toward the rear. There's still some over travel, and a long reset. There it is, almost to the end of the travel of the trigger to fully reset it. But again, not a bad feeling trigger. It's going to be interesting when I shoot this to see just how it comes out. It's again light and easy to work. I've heard some complaints about not being able to have a natural resetting feel on it. And you compare it with something like the Shield, which also, if I remember right, has a magazine disconnect in it. And no, it does not on this one. Okay, so we don't need the mag in it. But the Shield has a lot of take up, a little bit of movement that's really pretty crisp, and virtually no over travel. But still a... Did that reset? There we go. Grip safety wasn't in. Alright. A little heavier trigger. And a shorter, more audible reset on the Shield. If you got the grip safety in, this feels like it's a better trigger in the Shield. I'm not going to weigh it right here because this is not a review of the Shield EZ. Not much else to say about it. The Walther CCP M2 in 380. Going to be a fun gun to shoot, I think. Other reports have shown that it's been reliable. We are going to take it out to the range in the real near future, and we'll also make this part of a full review of all the 380s that I either own personally or have access to by borrowing from friends. So we hope to get a dozen and a half or so 380s to do a comparison. Let my wife shoot them all and see what she thinks with the 380. So there it is, the Walther CCP M2 380 unboxing. Stay tuned for the range review. And thanks for dropping in while we took a quick look at this.